Hello and welcome to Getting Your Money's Worth, the show that focuses on value. I'm Judith West, and our guest today is Robert Shemin.
That's right.
Did I get it right? Good. He's author and has written a very interesting book, which frankly, How's That Idiot Rich and I'm Not? I can't think of anybody who hasn't been sitting in a car or gone to some event and said to himself, if I'm so smart, how come that idiot's so rich? How did you come up with this title?
Well, Judith, we've all said it. We've all thought it. Whatever level you're at. When I was making, $6 an hour, I thought it. When I was making $200 an hour, I thought it. When I had a lot of money, I thought it. And I want to kind of reveal the secrets of what are these people doing. They're not the brightest bulbs in the tanning bed. I was voted.
And you have this theory that those folks that are least likely to succeed are the folks that turn up at 20th high school reunions having succeeded.
That's right.
Will you explain that to me and to our audience?
Well, Judith, I think we live in an upside-down world. I mean, look at all the stuff we're taught, we're brought up to do. I know I was brought up to go work for a company, be a good boy for 60 years. When you're 70 or something, you can retire, save a few pennies, have fun for a year or two, and then you die.
Get a gold watch or something.
Yeah, whatever.
Right.
And I didn't like that plan. And we kind of live in an upside-down world. And we're brought up, most of us, to believe we're not rich, that there's not enough out there, that it's a secret club, that you have to have money to make money. And none of it's true. I thought that was true. And when I was about 26, 7 years old, I wasn't doing well at all. I met a gentleman. He never got out of high school, didn't have a computer. He was making about $100,000 a month from real estate investing and taking 6 months vacation a year. And I'm thinking, if this guy, who wasn't the brightest light bulb in the tanning bed, can do this, maybe I got a chance.
So you thought, how come he's doing it and I'm not?
Right.
But going back earlier, even when in your youth, you kind of had this unorthodox approach to your early years too.
Right.
I remember reading. Tell us the story. I thought it was cute when you were busboy, but you didn't call yourself busboy. What did you call yourself?
Right. Well, when I was 15, I moved out on my own. I started working as a busboy at Ruby Tuesdays. And I didn't like that title. It's not impressive.
Bus
so I made
boy.
him make me an apron that said Table Maintenance Engineer.
Table maintenance engineer,
Yeah.
okay.
I've got pride.
For all those folks out there, and you call them rubs. What's a rub again?
Well, they're doing everything right, and they're upside down and broke.
And they're broke. It's like, I'm playing by the rules. So if I played by the rules and I went to a good college and I got good grades and I'm listening to you and I'm broke and you're not broke, though I have to say you got a good education at Emory, which is a very hard school to get into.
Right.
So what can I do to change, to go from being a rub to being a rich idiot?
Right.
Let's go through that because we want to give people their money's worth.
And I know people have heard it before, but I believe it starts with belief.
Belief.
What's between the ears. You have to believe that you're wealthy. And a part of that is gratitude, and explained in the book. If you don't have gratitude for where you are now or what you have, I don't think you can ever be wealthy.
In fact, I think you call it in your book, you have to think rich and act rich.
That's right.
Is that possible to do when you're not rich, Robert?
It's possible. It's not easy because I've been both places.
It's not easy.
Right.
If you're struggling to pay the bills,
right.
It's darn hard to think you're rich.
That's right. But a lot of it, I think there's a universal laws. There's an energy to money. There's a flow to it. And until you believe right, it's not going to work. Let me give you an example. I was broke. Some people say living paycheck to paycheck. I was going hour to hour. It was bad. And, what you focus on expands. So I focused all the time. I don't have money. I can't pay my bills. And that lasted for years. The bottom line is the only real way to get wealthy, unless you're a CEO or maybe an anesthesiologist,
or you inherit or something,
is own assets.
Own assets, okay.
And we walk you through.
So how do you get to that point? If you don't have money, I think, what are assets? Real estate, we'll talk with real estate. That's
right.
most time.
There's basically three categories.
Okay.
And you got to do one of them. I like to do all three.
Okay, so let's see if we can get through all three of them by going briskly through them.
Now, number one, the first part of the book on the money part gets you in control of your debt. The whole problem right now, recession, doom, gloom, is people spent more than they were bringing in. If you're making $4,000 a month, you can't have a $3,000 mortgage.
Maybe they listened to you. They were broke and they got real estate. I hope you're not behind the subprime mortgage.
Absolutely
mess,
not.
Robert.
If they would have followed these rules, we'd have no problems, because it's the basic old rules of what's coming in. You got to spend less. And we show you how to get out of debt, the bad debt. There's also good debt.
So you talk about you should have 3 properties in your asset class. The home you own.
Right, and 2 other investment properties.
And 2 other investment properties that pay rent. And you also, we're not going to do it today, but you detail how to crunch the numbers to see if they're going to pay. Okay, so that's the one asset class, real estate.
3 deals and you're done, real estate.
3 deals and you're done. Okay, put that. Then, so now I'm on to my next, concurrently I'm doing the next, which is stocks and bonds.
Right.
Good time to do that too.
Always.
How am I going to do that? A few dollars every day?
Well, again, we're going to show you how to get your spending under control very quickly, how to raise cash from places you didn't know. And here's the point: is last week a lot of the people spent $89 at Starbucks.
Yeah.
You know, and you take $89 and put it in the market and underperform the market over time. In 30 years, you're gonna have over $1 million.
Right.
So what you got to do is start a systematic program. You don't have to figure out the market. You don't have to guess when's the best time to buy. Over long term,
you just have to do it conscientiously and diligently.
That's right.
And stick with it.
That's right. And start. And most people never start, or they start too late.
But you can't. But you don't start by picking a stock. You start by giving it to a
professional. That's right. Or a mutual fund that's well run, low expenses, and let the pros do it.
And let the pros do it.
See, smart people, and I used to be smart, try to figure it out. It's hard to do.
Smart people, you make a distinction about that in your book. And I like rich idiots know that they have to pay for certain things that they can't do, certain services that they cannot do as efficiently.
That's right. And it's all about getting rich as a team sport. See, people think they have to do it all themselves. I got to do the real estate myself, the stocks and bonds, my business myself. And my goal is to do very little. Let the pros do their job.
Right. And if you have to give them a piece of it, so what?
Yeah.
It's still more than not having a half the pie, or 3/4 quarters of the pie is better than no pie at all.
That's right. And a lot of people right now are deciding on no pie or negative pie.
Right. And thirdly, what's the third?
Is a business.
Start your own business.
Yeah, now that's not for everybody.
That's not for everybody.
Right. But a lot of people, if they want to, and we show you how to take what you love and turn it into a business. Because if you don't love what you're doing, it's not going to work. Right. Or, you might make money. But
and you have to have enough cash or enough wherewithal to give you staying power in your own business. You can't expect to start it and hit a home run right away.
We tell everyone to start part-time, and there's tons of business out there you can start for less than $100. We're not talking about spending $100,000 on a franchise.
It's much easier today because you can go on the internet and get a plan for a decent business plan. You don't have to spend a lot of money to start your own business, and you can start it in your spare time.
That's right.
In fact, I was very surprised, and we have only a couple of minutes left, and I want to touch on it, that you make mention in your book about how much money can be made in the virtual world.
That's right.
That really surprised me.
And I didn't know that at all, and I learned about a year or two ago. You got to be flexible.
Property.
Right. There's people making millions of dollars.
Isn't that like playing Monopoly?
It is. I don't understand it, but I don't need to. It's making money.
Right.
But what other people do is they analyze, that doesn't make any sense to me. Well, it doesn't matter. It makes you money.
Well, I have to say, looking at you, Robert, you're tan, you're well-dressed. I mean, if that's what it looks like to be a rich idiot, God, please. I read your book. I have to say, I had it with me. I read your book. I enjoyed your book. And I learned from it.
Thanks.
I learned from it. So,
and the part about being a rich idiot is if you got to do what you love to do, and also be grateful for what you have.
And I think the word idiot there is something there in the word idiot, because the implication is that if you're always thinking about playing by the rules and you're always planning, and you're not taking some risk and doing it, your chances of getting rich are slim, much slimmer, right? So for all of our folks out there that aren't idiots, I recommend that you read your book and become a rich idiot, right?
And the goal is you get it, you do what's in there, and people will look at you and they'll say, "Hey, how come that idiot's rich and I'm not?" That's the goal.
And they'll become that person. Thank you for being on the show. It was a pleasure to have you.
Enjoy it all.
Thank you for watching.